Well, hello, everybody. My name's EJ. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to be here with our humble EverReflect team. Many of them are going to be on the channel in the group today. So if you have any questions, I guess we could get main introductions out of the way. Everybody's been asking about my puppy. So this is Brody. He is going to be joining us for most of this journey. But to give you a little background on myself, I got a 20-year career in large-scale event planning, marketing, and design. So I am one of the devs, but also pretty much the team lead. So with most of the project questions, you can either direct them at me and I will try to respond, or we do have an outstanding team of mods and admins and other devs that are working on the project. So I will say this, that there will be times that I'll probably have one of them reach back out if there's a direct message, just so that we can try to facilitate everybody that asks us questions. And what we'll do today is I'm going to kind of take us through the tokenomics, the project as a whole. Then we'll send out the pink sale link so that you guys can check that out. It will be a whitelist that will take place January 18th with a launch to Pancake on January 20th. So with that being said, I will share my screen. And I'm going to bring up basically our EverReflect website. So with screen share, you should be able, can everybody see what I'm currently doing? Hopefully.
Yep. So
to give you a quick overview, EverReflect, it fits into the family of reflection tokens that pay out that reward with a 15% BUSD reflection. We definitely looked at the market, and we definitely understand that there's a large number of these reflection tokens taking place. However, we decided that we were going to do a few different things with this token. I will jump over to our tokenomics. One of the things that we're going to be doing with this token is that we're going to start everything at a 20% buy sell tax, 15% will be reward, 3% will be marketing, 2% liquidity. The idea for this token basically stemmed from my father and I buying similar tokens and kind of wondering why the reward share was so low out of the percentage of the tax that was taken. So what we decided to do was basically build in a tax reduction system. So you can go through our white paper and you can look at our tokenomics, but in essence, the 20% tax will be reduced by 1% every week following our launch January 20th. So meaning 7 days after the 20th, we'll reduce it by 1% of the marketing. A week later, 1% of the liquidity. 1 week later, 1% of the marketing again, until all 5% of the marketing and liquidity tax is removed on February 24th. This will leave just a 15% reward. So in essence, early holders will have the opportunity to be able to get in at a lower price, but at the same point, you will be incurring no tax after February 24th. So hopefully once the token is launched and it's a bit more stable, we'll see an influx of holders that want to buy basically a reflection token with only 15%. One other strategic plan that's going into this is that the total supply, you can see here on the screen that we burnt 500 trillion right out of the gate, taking basically the circulating supply down to 500 trillion. Now, we are also incorporating a locked wallet that beginning on January 20th, we will start burning an additional 100 trillion tokens. What does that mean? Basically, that the circulating supply will in essence go from 500 trillion down to 400 trillion within the first few months. We'll have different promotions. And if you look again in the white paper, we already have a schedule of a certain number of those tokens that will be burnt, but I will guarantee that all 100 trillion will be burnt, and we will do promotions, giveaways, different types of community involvement to determine if we're going to burn 1 trillion today or we're going to burn 5 trillion today, so on and so forth. So with any of the questions that you guys might have about the tokenomics, about the white paper, one other caveat that I want to bring up are the utilities that you'll be able to see, which are written on our, this is just kind of the quick overview on our pink sale, that we will have 3 utilities. The first starting off will just be a BSC chart similar to KuCoin. Why we decided to go with such a utility is that basically utilization, we think more people use a chart every day than potentially use maybe an NFT or some of the other things every day. You're basically always having to look up different numbers, always looking up different tokens, different codes. So EverReflect BSC chart that we will then have ad buys that you can utilize with our token to be able to purchase advertising on that chart. Included in that website, we're also going to have a portal for Dapp developers and other devs to be able to funnel out services that they can offer. We do a lot of conversations with the Morales team over on the forum, and I will say this, that I think that the guys over at Morales are some of the best, smartest human beings on this planet. And they have a message board so that you can hire different devs. And we're going to kind of take that formulation as well, but we want to also incorporate a rating system so that people that are, say, launching new tokens or that they're working on projects and they're looking to hire a dev, almost kind of like an Angie's List, if you're familiar with that, that'll give you, a ranking of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. That'll be incorporated with that chart website as well. And then the third component that we'll be doing with any utility coming from the live event, large scale event planning industry, I think there's a huge part of incorporating NFTs and the minting of NFTs for tickets, incorporating those at live events, allowing promoters and allow artists to be able to sell their tickets on the blockchain and be able to track the secondary market for those ticket sales. So that's the utilities. That is the tokenomics in a nutshell. One other part I do really want to point out, that I would recommend everybody to take a look at our contract address. Not only is the contract verified, but if you go into the holders currently, you'll see that there was private sale in advance. But we're very proud of this in the sense of the first 5,000 are 500 trillion are already sent to the burn address. This morning we sent 350 trillion over to Pink Sale, and then we have 100 trillion that are in that Pink Locked wallet that will only be used for burn. Those are the only tokens remaining in the dev contract owner's wallet. So one of the issues that we've had in the past was looking at contracts and looking at a contract address and seeing either a ton of unlocked tokens or seeing a ton of locked tokens that may not necessarily have a place or a destination that anybody could tell us where they were going to go. And so I know for a lot of people, hopefully this will be one of those safety measures to know there's no unlocked tokens other than the dev delay burn tokens that are locked in the contract address. Everything else has either been deployed basically to private sale buyers or are now on Pink Sale for the pre-sale. One other part that we can bring up here that I'll just kind of point out, I know that our admins are probably chatting it up in the channel right now, and we will be sharing this link. I would highly encourage anybody to check out our socials. You can see what we have on Reddit. You can see what we have on Twitter. Obviously, Telegram is going to be one of the main homes for EVRF and our admin team. So if you have any questions, I would highly recommend coming to Telegram to ask those questions. Taking us through the pink sale. We're going to have, it'll be taking place 28 days, January 18th. Whitelist only. There is a sweepstakes that we are currently running, that those links are also going to be in the channel, that if you would like to register for the sweeps, 250 additional whitelist spots will be given away for this pre-sale. Minimum buy, which there has been some speculation as to why we went so low as opposed to, say, 1 BNB or 0.1 BNB. We decided to go with 0.01 BNB, which in essence is about $5 to $10 in your Meta or your Trust wallet. There's one other person, and I don't know if I can find him very quickly. Fritz, can you unmute yourself and maybe do a quick intro? This is my father, also one of the devs, and also one of the, I guess you could say, the tokenomic masters that came up with this math. You will also see a lot of Excel spreadsheets and charts going around from our team that they're creating, but a lot of this math was formulated from my father, Frederick Wolf Jr., and he kind of has some experiences with other tokens, and I just want him to introduce himself and kind of share a quick story.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, well, EJ wanted me to share a story on why we started this in the first place. And we go back, quite a few months ago on one of the Safe Moon Facebook pages I was on. And I've always been for the little person. And some single mother got on there and said that she had just bought like 20 million shares and was really happy about it and excited that she was finally be able to get in on SafeMoon. Then all of a sudden, two guys started hassling her, telling her why waste her time. She should have took her money and bought groceries or something for her kids or something else. And that really ticked me off, that instead of encouraging her to belittle her, and so I jumped in and defended her. And so when it comes to creating this token, a lot of it was from that situation that I read there, and let's have a minimum and let someone with not much money get in and keep the whales out of it, and more go for the small person instead of somebody getting rich off it. I would rather see 20 people with $1 million and one person with $20 million, and vice versa, 200 people with $100,000 than just one person controlling everything. And so that was the whole, when this all started and EJ and I got together and talked about it, I said, this is one of the things that I wanted in this token, to be for the little guy the best we can keep it. And
cool.
Thank you all for listening to me.
So the moral of that story is one, my dad is a very kind and generous man in general, has definitely rubbed off to me and my brother through our childhood. But the concept of making sure that we allow that 0.01 BNB in at the beginning, and then even if you look at like the tokenomics of I know that there's going to be questions and there's going to be issues with certain people that are not going to get on the whitelist, and that there's going to have to be people waiting to buy at Pancake at launch. But once again, I'll go back to check our BSC scan, that we are doing our absolute best to make this starting line as even as possible for as many people as possible. Now, we came up with these tokenomics a month ago, 2 months ago. The math started working, And before we decided to even go into the pre-sale, we were trying to put the parameters in a realistic amount. So that's where the 150 soft cap and the 195 hard cap came from. The outpouring of support has been incredible. And so we know that there's going to be a lot of anticipation, and hopefully, which is good for any token and which is good for any holder, that there's a lot of excitement at launch for people to also get in and get early. Now, I know that some people are going to be, not on the whitelist, and they'll have to wait till launch, and they might not even be able to buy right in that first couple seconds of launch. But I do want to show one other screen, and this is a similar reflection token that just launched September 25th that many of us, including myself, hold. Now, if we go back to that starting day of September 25th, when the token launched, you can see that you were still in the ability to basically buy it at 0.908. Now if we look at the price, it is burnt off 3 zeros, and it looks like it's at 606 today. So from a 0 with 9 zeros, 8 at the launch day, to the growth in just under 3 months, it's pretty staggering. And I just encourage everybody that I know certain people will be looking at this and decide, okay, I'm annoyed that I wasn't able to buy in private. I was annoyed that I wasn't able to buy in pre-sale. And I just encourage everybody to have dialogues and conversations with the team, but also to keep up a great attitude, because there's no way that anybody would go back to that token on September 25th and not want to buy it at the rate that it is then, even though it was first launched to Pancake and you weren't going to be able to get necessarily the same rate that you got in pre-sale. So I know I've kind of nonstop talked for about 20 minutes. I can go ahead and stop sharing my screen and just bring myself back up. But with that being said, I think there is the ability for us to raise hands. And all's well? Is that
Yeah.
still there, bud?
All's well. Yeah, so I wanted to know, is this project related to EGC?
Nope. This is not. We did take the Ever component from their name when we kind of came up with it about 2 months ago, playing off of the Ever theme that is kind of spread through the BSC charts like crazy over the last 3 months. But no, we are not officially connected to Sam or any of those guys. I will say that almost all of us are EGC holders, and I expect to hold my EGC for some time. A huge fan of that token, huge fan of that team, to be honest. And we live in a world where things transpire so fast in crypto, and it's interesting to me that even like their last AMA on Sunday, all of the great utilities that they were able to have in the works that they're already presenting on their new website, and we forget they aren't even 3 months old. Like that token will turn 3 on, I believe, Christmas Day, because it launched September 25th to the decentralized listing. So hopefully that's encouraging, but hopefully it's also one of those things that we are delaying this purposely. We have a token that's ready to go, but we want to build the right people. We want to build the right community. I said it in the chat earlier that kindness is going to be the number one goal with everybody. Even if people don't want to be a part of the project, just be a part of the community, but just be kind of one of those encouraging lights to people. We started this group, and then it grew, and then I got invited to some brilliant men that are in this industry. And that rapport, that friendship is one, so needed, but two, so critical to an early project like this, because we're basically taking a little baby bird and asking the thing to fly out of the nest and not crash into the rocks. Like, we need to do everything that we can, even if you're not going to ever buy any EVRF tokens, stick around and share any other ideas, share any other concepts,
No,
any
no,
other
no.
things you're looking
Don't worry,
at. So,
don't worry, buddy. I just wanted to know if it was related to EDC. I'm
yeah,
also
I
a
talk.
fan of EDC, and I have a feeling that this token will do well. All right. So
Well, thank
I
you.
wanted to also know. What does it take to get on the whitelist, or is it over?
So no, there are still 250 spots open in the whitelist. If you look at the welcome screen, one of the buttons is for SweepWidget, and there's, I believe, 50 to 60 potential ways to enter into that whitelist. And then the week prior to our pre-sale, we'll be announcing 50 additional wallets per day for another 250 total that will be added to the whitelist that's already on there. You will see on our pink sale that there's already a number of address wallets. So if anybody had DM'd me specifically that they wanted to confirm that they were on that white list, there were the initial people that were into this group were given the opportunity to join the white list early because they were kind of earlier to the community. We didn't plan on announcing this publicly until today. So yes, there is a SweepWidget. So
Okay. So just the last question. So I feel that next year is going to take a little bit of change in direction in terms of BSC tokens and all that. So next year we're going to have the metaverse people coming in. We have gaming tokens and all that. Do you have any of such utilities planned?
the main utility that we will end up launching is another BSC chart, similar to PooCoin. Why are we going with such a simple utility? It's because we think that it can be utilized more. And it's a deliverable product that we can give everybody out within a few weeks to months after our launch that isn't a insanely hard utility to promise and deliver. So I guess if anybody else is out there and would actually like to ask any questions about the tokenomics, about the team, about the contract, about the delayed dev burn, about the pink sale, one thing with pink sale, if you're not familiar, you will connect that to your MetaMask or to your Trust wallet. And then on that day at 5 p.m. UTC, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, you can then, as long as you're on the white list, you'll be able to enter into that pre-sale. Can reserve up to two BNB max. So we're hoping that it'll go fast. It definitely has the momentum and the feeling that our pre-sale will go fast, and that should be encouraging to a lot of people, because you don't want to buy a pre-sale token that doesn't have any hungry buyers, I guess you could say, for the launch. So we're really happy with our math. We're really happy with the structure of what we're doing for this pre-sale, because I think it'll stir up a lot of buying support, and we're still 30 days away for January 20th launch. Was there any other questions? I know I talk a lot, guys, and it's probably what I'm told every day, that I just keep rambling and going. But if there are any questions, feel free to speak up.
Hey, EJ, it's Ed.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, all good, you?
Say that again, Alan.
Hey, so I have a couple of questions.
Oh, maybe that wasn't on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
You can hear me, great. So when the tax changes down to the 15%, and there'll no longer be the liquidity or the marketing. Yeah.
Yes.
What happens if there's not enough in the marketing wallet by that point? Are you going to continue the marketing tax or?
No. So that will be on us. That'll be on our team and our team of investors that if there's, come February 24th, that is a risk. And I will tell that to everybody right up. We don't see too many projects that are willing to basically cut their marketing budget down to zero. We do have some tokens that are sent. You can look at our contract at our marketing wallet where those BUSD reflections will be going. We do have a few 100 billion EverReflect tokens that will be in that wallet, and they will receive reflections as well. It's lower than the 1 trillion because we wanted to keep it fairly balanced as far as what was in that marketing wallet, not make it a really heavy bag. But the plan is that if we can generate enough holders, generate enough volume, and say the first 30 to 45 days, once we eliminate the taxes, that similar to what Evergrow did just recently with transferring out of their dev wallet all of those tokens to their individual wallet holders. So they use that so that they could pay their employees their salaries, which I think is a very, logical step for a token that grew that fast, that soon. And they ended up getting some FUD about it, but I think it was a wise business move. So we've done that in advance for our marketing wallet, that there's, I think it's 300 billion or somewhere in that range that are in the marketing receiver wallet where we'll receive the BUSD marketing percentage, but then also it will start receiving some reflections. And if the project picks up with enough momentum and enough velocity, we will be able to utilize reflections for marketing. And then the second facet of marketing revenue, we haven't set pricing for ad spend on our BSC chart. I'm sure a few of you guys out there have probably just gotten curious and looked on KuCoin's, the pricing for their ads. So it would be something similar to their structure where you would have to buy EVRF and then either burn it, or you would also send us BNB. So that could be another revenue stream for us, for our marketing dollars, to keep continuing to, one, promote the project, but then also build out these utilities. We're doing this in a very logical, systematic, goal-setting, step-by-step that we think everybody will be able to look at and appreciate that we've kind of already taken these actions in advance, so that we're not having to transfer out a ton of tokens from the dev wallet. We're not having to basically look at trying to disperse any of those reflection tokens for marketing or for internal business use, because we pretty much already have it in place in that marketing wallet. So
Great, thanks for that. One other
thank
question. You say you currently work in marketing and events. Are you making any plans to incorporate that? Got any friends in the business that can help push this thing along?
Yeah, so it's very interesting because I've said this to a number of the guys that are working on the team, that launching a token and getting all of these moving parts is very similar to, say, promoting a music festival or a large scale event. The business of utilizing crypto on a day-to-day, other than investing, there's still a big gap between the real world and somebody that uses crypto for a utility on the daily. However, I think that blockchain and everything is coming in a direction that within the next 12 months to probably 5 years, we'll see it much more in the mainstream. That's why the third utility for us would be the NFT minting for ticketing. Now, this was one of the ideas that was kind of brainstorming and throwing around. BP, one of our admins, board members, one of the greatest human beings, honestly, that I've ended up meeting through this whole process, help refining the process that we will basically be able to mint an NFT, which is just basically a digital graphic. And then that digital graphic can be utilized as a ticket. If say the promoter or say the artist were to sell their tickets through the platform that we're going to develop, that ticket is in essence still connected to the original creator's wallet. And that creator's wallet would then be able to track and be able to still get basically a percentage of resale value. So if you ever see anybody buying a ticket on Ticketmaster and the artist blows up because you got the ticket for $20 and then they go on to StubHub and they sell it for $500, the artist or the promoter never sees any of that additional fee. And this way they would be able to still monitor the resale of the secondary market of their tickets. I would also like to do an event where we sponsor, aspirations would be a Coachella, a Bonnaroo, a Lollapalooza, or something that's large scale. But realistically, we will start small and try to do sponsorships of music festivals or events that I think a lot of people that you see a lot of crypto commercials now during sporting events. I think the same concept of people wanting to buy into this world that are in the music festival business, they're ripe for it. So. And any other questions? If you do have a question, you can just unmute yourself. We'll just kind of give the ability for anybody to do that.
When EverReflect merch?
Say that again?
When's the merch? Where's the merch at? I need my
puppy merchandising. Back. Yeah, so we will have EverReflect swag. That is in the process. We're working with one of the partners that I actually have from the event industry that's based here in Michigan. Super great guy. We're not going to probably release that until early January as far as the pricing and then the shipping. One of the major aspects that is just a given for this world, this industry, and this business is that crypto is worldwide. So we want to be able to offer product that can be shipped internationally at reasonable rates, that people won't be completely underwater for having to pay shipping for a $40 or $50 hoodie. So. Any other questions? Come on, you guys are DMing me left and right. I know that there has to be a lot out there. I'm not that question. Yes.
Hey, how's it going, EJ?
Good, man. Ron, one of our first 100, by the way. Appreciate this guy being here. So.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad to be here. So, one quick question for the profit that's made from the merch and everything else, would that be used as buyback and burn utilities for all investors?
No, not necessarily. We have no buyback and burn component to this token. There's two reasons for that. We definitely negotiated back and forth whether or not a buyback and burn facet should be incorporated, and we decided to not go with that and decided to go with that 100 trillion delayed dev burn based on the fact that buyback and burn has to be enabled in the contract, and it offers a lot of issues to potential holders questioning the utilization of those funds, whether or not the buyback and burn wallet is actually being utilized for buyback and burn. It opens the opportunity that if it's always enabled, that bot systems are smart enough that they know when that buyback right before it happens will buy. And then obviously the buyback while it's engaged will purchase tokens, and then they can sell right away. So that's why a lot of people will say that say a similar reflection token that has a buyback and burn component is a scam because of the fact that the buyback and burn function is not enabled. That is not true at all. And if you guys that are preaching that because a certain token doesn't have it enabled, it's completely false. Can it be compromised? Yeah, but everything can be compromised. Just because it's not enabled, it's because they're trying to ward off bots and only trying to turn it on at certain times so that basically they're doing something that will benefit the holders as opposed to hurting the holders. Going back to the merge question, what will that revenue stream be utilized for? It most likely will be utilized for the utility builds and additional marketing. Where our burn component beyond the 400T will come into play. Circulating supply of 400 trillion is too many, guys. Like, there's not enough cash in the world for this thing to be able to go above a buck and have 400 trillion tokens in circulation. The BSC chart utilizing ad spend. So if you buy an ad, say you have a crypto that you're going to launch in 6 months and you would like to be able to advertise it on our BSC chart, a part of buying that ad will incorporate burning EVRF, and then potentially a part of that also be either BNB or BUSD. But initially starting out, it will probably be only burn, that we will put your ad on our website. You just have to burn X EVRF to force down that circulating supply more so than, I mean, most of you probably are familiar with SafeMoon or just have been investors in SafeMoon, kind of like what my dad was talking about. You just saw what they had to do with the V2 launch of their token. And it was basically because circulating supply is still right around 500 trillion. Kind of the same thing with Evergrow Coin, that they're right in that, like, yeah, there's burn, but it's still in that 500 trillion range. So we're in that 500 trillion range, true, but we have 100 trillion locked that will be burnt at specific dates and for specific events, specific milestones, things of that nature, that hopefully as a community we can come together and just be like, hey, this is fun. This should be exciting. We should all be friends here. And you have our guarantee, and we'll even end up writing it in the blockchain, similar to what you do with basically claiming a contract on BSC scan. We'll write that into the blockchain that all 100 trillion of those tokens will be utilized for nothing but other than delayed debt burn. So
I guess my real question is, how will any of the community benefit from any of the utilities, I guess?
Well, I mean, do you use PooCoin or Dex tools, or do you use any kind of charting websites?
I do.
So then most likely, if we build, it's a big if, right? You could easily not like our BSC chart website as much as PooCoin, or you're more familiar with PooCoin, but it's a utility that people basically will take advantage every day. You won't necessarily be utilizing your EVRF unless you buy ads, but other people will be, and that will still be burning circulating supply. But the utility for you is basically going to just be a free utility, because you'll be able to have another price chart, another BSC scan. A big part of what we want to have incorporated into that website also is basically a rating system for hiring other devs. So I hope that answers the question, but hopefully you'll start using the EVRF price chart or BSC chart.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, because I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
What was the thought, what was the thought about waiting till like the middle of January to launch this? Why so far out? I mean, I'm here regardless because I think it's a great project. I was just curious.
Yeah. Two factors: holidays that we've seen. The markets kind of are. The markets have been down for the most part. How much that is dependent on COVID? How much that is dependent on, consumer spending in other segments of the market. So the concept of waiting till after the first of the year was kind of already in place because we wanted to wait until we got into 2022 and get through the holidays. The token is ready. We could have done the pre-sale now. We could have done everything to launch it. Probably could have done a decent pre-sale, maybe even maxed out the hard cap. This is psychological, folks. Like, you can't have it yet. Like, we want to give everybody the opportunity to see the product so that for any of you that do decide to buy, anybody that wants to be a holder, that one, we all have to wait for it a little bit longer. So maybe you're going to think twice about selling it as fast. And secondly, it stirs up a more organic community for these next 30 days because we live in such a fast world of crypto that build the token, make sure that you get it, the website, get the DF and all this, launch, go, here we go. We got to get it, go. The whole team, everybody, we said, take a moment. Listen to some Joe Dispenza, meditate a little bit, and take our time. The building out of a Reddit page, the building out of a Twitter page, the getting 200 and some plus organic members into a Telegram, there's no compromise for taking your time to build the right community, and it takes time. So really that is the biggest reason of just waiting until January 18th for the pre-sale and January 20th for the launch.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I mean, I agree with the whole thing too. Patience. I preach that constantly in this space because no one has it. But
Right.
let's take time, and you're doing it perfectly. So,
and it is hard, Jason. Like there's definitely days that we're like, oh man, should we have done this? And we would go back and we'll kind of stay up at night and kind of discuss things till 1 a.m. as our admin team. But yeah, patience is key. And I think that there's a couple of major themes that you will see from this team. One of them, like I've said over and over, is kindness and gratitude. That we're not here unless we're gratitude for all of you people, whether or not you're into it or you're not into it. We're still appreciating the community being here. We're appreciating everybody's time that they're putting into social. We're putting in efforts with brainstorming or creative design assets, all that kind of stuff. The next part, like you said, is patience, because patience is, the whole patience is a virtue. It is. But it gives us also some breathing room that we're not trying to launch, we're not trying to deploy it, and then, oh, hey guys, we messed up. We're sorry. This part of the tax function didn't work. We're going to have to remint a new contract, and we're going to have to redeploy those tokens, or we're going to have to basically start over with a new contract. And then thirdly, it gives us, like, this is completely 100% selfish to say, this gives us as devs and admins the opportunity to show you as basically a community our consistency. Because what we're going to do is we're going to lay out plans. We're going to lay out things like AMAs. We're going to lay out things such as 5 trillion tokens burned on this date, launch happening on this date. It's consistency, right? Because we're only as good as what we repeatedly do. And what you repeatedly do is who you are. So if nothing else, the 30 to 40 days of delaying it gives us as a team the opportunity to prove to you that we're consistent, that we're people of our word, and that we're going to follow through with what we said we were going to do.
Well, yeah, you're here for the long term. You could easily, like you said, quickly put this out there and make money, and it is what it is, but you're there for the long term and you're renting it out. So
Well, and one of the things that I always, our team kind of goes back and we'll review other tokens. One thing that I think is kind of cool about what we did with the vesting tokens is that you can see a lot of vesting tokens in pre-sale will say hold back the 30. We did 29 trillion. So it is a large number of tokens that will be sent to the initial investors and founders and devs of the team, but it's delayed. You'll see that 12% is released after 90 days. And then after that, it's only another 3% of those vesting tokens every 30 days into 2024, I believe it is. It's 2022. So yeah, so then basically a 3-year delay of every 30 days, you're getting 3% of your initial tokens for vesting. You don't delay getting your tokens 3 years unless you plan on being here in 3 years. So,
yeah, good stuff, man.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kindness, man.
I'm gonna get back to work.
You tell your boss thanks for us.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We got about 10 minutes.
Yes. Hello, AG.
Hey, what up?
You see me?
I do. What do you have on your head?
You?
Oh yeah, I know you're a sailor.
Yeah.
This is the infamous Sailor Man, everyone. So if anybody is questioning if he's real,
No, I'm not.
indeed, you're out of work. So what question do you have, sir?
When puppy? I want puppy too.
Oh, you didn't see the Brody. Oh, he's right here. So I think that one of the guys in the group had like coined the term Ever Buddies, which I think is kind of cheesy but kind of awesome. So this is going to be Ever Puppy, and we'll make sure that he gets some screen time, and I will tweet out.
And EverReflect puppy backpack. Yes.
Yeah. The girlfriend has been buying a lot of Amazon things currently. So we have puppy backpacks, puppy leashes, puppy nativity sets. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, about 8 minutes. Any other questions? Any other or DM me, or DM Sailor. You could DM any of the admins that are in the group or ask it in the group chat. One other thing that I do want to point out, we're all crypto fans here. And so if you have projects or you have other channels or you have other things that are substantially relevant, not people that are just kind of posting just whatever they have, but if you vetted a project, like we have one that we know that's coming up that'll also be released in January. I won't say the name yet, but that we will be sharing to the group. If it's a good team of devs, and if it's a good YouTube channel, and if it's a good resource for education, share it in the group. We're not going to ban you for sharing information that's relevant to the entire community, because that's how this foundation was laid with this initial group of people that are working on this project now. And I think that there's so many good resources out there, but sometimes it's hard to go through the weeds of what is the best resources. So if it's YouTube channels, if it's Telegram channels, please share that. There's a lot of new people in this space. I mean, I've talked directly with doctors that are on here. I've talked directly with officers that work at airports. I've spoken with people that have just had pacemakers put in a week ago. So there's so many people, diverse groups, diverse incomes, diverse backgrounds, diverse time zones. So let's all utilize everybody else's knowledge and resources and do our best to introduce anybody that's kind of coming in the front door that maybe doesn't even have MetaMask or doesn't have Trust Wallet, let's show them how it's done. Let's show them how to add a custom token and switch networks from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain. Like things that we take for granted being this early in a pre-sale are rocket science to so many other people in the mainstream media. So I just hope that our entire community can just be like that group of people that just helps other people, gets them onto decentralized listings, onto how to use Pancake, for example, or how to use another DApp, or how to be able to even create a trust account. Like it's simple to us, or MetaMask, depending. I use both because obviously that's what we end up doing at this point in our lives. But encourage other people, encourage new people, give them a concept of what crypto is like, and then kind of, show them the route and show them the path, and have patience with those people, because it's go back to the first day that anybody tried to do this, and to even say add a custom token. We do it without hesitation now, but there's a lot of people in this group and in this community that will still struggle with that stuff. So ask those questions, be encouraging to those people. And in all honesty, I think even if it's not even to buy EVRF, like just show them how they can buy a token if they really like it, or if they love the concept, or if it's for a video game, or if it's for a utility that they think is very interesting, a social media platform, whatever it might be. I just hope our group of our foundation of friendships that will be built here in this first couple hundred people can really spread like wildfire to show, hey, great token, great community, but the coolest part is just the people I've met there and the influences and the friendships that I've built. So.
Hey, Chief.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question in chat because he can't get on a mic. Can you see?
Yeah. What is the question?
What are you doing to ensure a successful launch? Do you have experience in launches and know of problems to expect with Presale, Pancake Swap, liquidity problems, bots, and so on?
Yeah, so this is my first project. This is our first launch as far as this team goes. What I will tell you that we are doing over and over is making sure that we are running examples, running the tokenomics of making sure that the taxes are working and everything like that on the testnet over and over. Any of the admins or any of the mods will know and can tell you how many times I've created and launched fake tokens onto the test nets to make sure that everything is basically simultaneous. We've also actually done tests with the real token. So if you were to if you look at BSC scan, and you'll see one wallet at the very bottom, I think it has 100 billion tokens. Those tokens are actually sent to the contract. That's because we were testing out the token on basically on the blockchain without any liquidity added already. So because there's no liquidity, there's no BNB to be able to match it up and pay a reward. But the taxing did work, and that 100 billion, or basically the 20%, the taxes all worked. We also are in constant contact with Presale. Saul and Chad over there have been super awesome devs and people to utilize their knowledge of doing launches on their platform. I've been in direct contact with them for well over a month already. So just because this is just now coming live today, December 20th, we'll let you know that there's a ton of other people behind the scenes that are already double checking our work. We have the audit that's listed for InterFi, but honestly, it's been audited a number of times to make sure that the tokenomics will function and the taxes will function as they're supposed to once it's launched to Pancake. So,
hey EJ,
one last question, okay? Oh, Ern, yeah, Steve.
How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Well, there we go. I didn't know we'd get on. I figured you'd get on here and call me a wanker. First thing out.
Well, you know me. It's impossible for me to get on a Telegram chat and not say something. But I just wanted to say, great job. Epic AMA as expected. I mean, I have to apologise for not. I listened to the first 30 minutes, and then the little one had to have a bath and go to bed, so I couldn't be on here to actively contribute. But I can just attest to, building a friendship with EJ, just the due diligence and rigor, and iterate to make sure everything's right. And I think that really, you're role modeling the way that tokens should be, launched on the BSC. Because, how many shit coins have we all bought that, there's big hype, somebody throws 20K at marketing, splashes it on pink sale, and then drops it on PooCoin and it doesn't work, and it honeypots. This, for me, the way you've done this and the way you're building the community organically is how it should be done. It's not botted with 10,000 fake members, it's right. And hat off. Great job.
And thank you. And I can't tell you how much I respect that man who's become a close friend and a close colleague, has been one of our, I guess you could say, consultants, advisors through the project. Extreme wealth of knowledge, extreme wealth of just diverse projects that he's been a part of as far as buying and selling, but also is doing his own token. That was the one I was bragging about that we'll be talking about in January. Like, we are creating allies with other devs, and that's big, because we know, and I've used the bad analogy in the past, that crypto's like collecting baseball cards, and it's silly for us to pretend that you can only come into our group if you're going to talk about how you trade 1989 Upper Deck baseball cards. It doesn't work that way. Some people trade basketball cards. Some people have wrestling cards. Some people have football cards. Maybe you love the Michael Jordan, which I know that I'll get some puns. You love the Michael Jordan rookie cards. Somebody else likes the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards, and somebody else likes a Patrick Mahomes rookie card. We can talk about them all, and we can share valuable information, because we all are multiple fans of multiple tokens, multiple projects, and we're still so early to so many of these projects. We're still on that. I have a diagram that I'll end up sharing later, but talking about the adoption curve. That adoption curve at the beginning is like less than a fraction of a percent of the early adapters or adopters. We're in that early portion of the curve. So, any last questions before we end this recording? We will take this recording and we'll make sure that it's put onto our YouTube channel and shared to social. But I can take one last question if there's anybody else.
I got a quick question for you. Oh.
Sorry, I won't make you guys fight for it. Who was that first spoke up?
That'd be me, Alan.
Okay, yeah, Alan.
Okay, so will the launch have any anti-sniper measures, such as like increasing the cell tax during like a specific amount of time?
We will not be. We did discuss potentially like increasing the cell tax or increasing the tax to say 90% right at launch. We voted against it. For the simple fact that we didn't want anybody to get caught in the very beginning. The way that our contract, it's a more simple contract, but it's a more safer contract to launch, in all honesty. The 90% would have to affect the buy and the sell at launch. So we're not going to do that. However, we did incorporate it through Pink sales with their deployment of their Pink antibot. That allows us to set some parameters right when we deploy the liquidity to Pancake. So those parameters will be any wallet can only buy every 30 seconds. And then the other parameter will be no buy or sell will be more than 2 trillion tokens. So if you ended up buying all of your pre-sale tokens, say you get in 2 BNB and you have 2 trillion, you have every right to be able to sell those at launch. A lot of people I don't think will, but you could sell up to 2 trillion, or you will be able to buy up to 2 trillion. Now, how long that will last will vary. It's going to be dependent on the number of blocks. Usually, like an Ethereum block's about 500 transactions. Recently, BSC blocks are about 200 to 300 transactions. So it's going to be in that range of the first, say, 500 to 1,000, because as soon as we turn off the anti-bot, I can't exactly predict. We put in the white paper that's going to be for the first 1,000 transactions. It's going to be in that range. I can't give you an exact number because I can't just tell exactly that this block will be 250 transactions and the next block will be 347 transactions. But it will be instituted with that 30-second delay per wallet, and then a 2 trillion minimum and max at launch as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Great community.
Yeah, thank
Sorry
you. Hey,
to the other person that wasn't able to.
Well, and who was that other person that spoke up? We'll take that question really quick as well.
All right, yeah. I don't know how quick it'll be, but I know you took the question about stopping the marketing after that first month or so. I'm more concerned about the liquidity. I'm a part of a couple other projects that are looking into the future of increasing their liquidity to stabilize the price or for like regulatory concerns.
Right.
So what is your thoughts about that?
Yeah, and that is something that we're going to have to monitor. Right now, we're going to be pushing kind of our internal metric will be about 10% liquidity pool to market cap. And that's one of the reasons that we're going to have to make sure that we have control of the contract for post that tax reduction. If it does come to that, then we will have to basically manually force liquidity into the token. We will be holding back funds in that scenario and in that case because the potential it is there. You know, liquidity pools are critical. Until we get up to a substantial number of holders where one seller, one buyer can disrupt that pool so quickly, we will be monitoring it. My true hope with the tax reduction is that it really makes people question if they should buy or if they should sell at this time. Like even if it's a person that said it needs to take out their has to sell, say, a portion of their bag. Hopefully you don't say you have 1 trillion tokens and hopefully you don't sell the whole 100 trillion, but you do have to sell some. So say they end up selling 200 billion of the 100 trillion. Maybe that person, because we know in 7 days, 1% of that tax will be lowered. Maybe they will delay selling it for another week. And hopefully our taxation system for the beginning will give people a little bit more questioning and pause, like, hey, yeah, I could sell it today, or yeah, I could buy it today, but should I wait a few days? And that little pause is critical, I think, because so many people will just be kind of trigger happy. And it's like, oh, you get excited because like the price is going up, so you buy, or the price is going down, so you sell, or the price is whatever. So you just click buy. Hopefully this will give people reason enough to evaluate, hey, okay, in this period, because right out of the gate, that first 40 days or so, what will end up being the first 5 weeks, it's critical. I mean, you go back to our Evergrowth coin chart, you know, think about that rise in 30 days from September 25th to October 25th. I mean, it's 1 in a million, right? But why can't we be 1 in a million if we do this strategically and get the right number of holders to match up? But we will be monitoring that liquidity pool, and you could probably just keep those numbers for yourself. That we're going to try to keep that in that 10% range because it can go lower. You know, Steve had given me some recommendations, the one that spoke earlier about managing that liquidity pool. But I can promise you this, that we'll definitely be monitoring to make sure that it's as stable as we can potentially make it with the amount of volume to the number of holders. So with that, it's 10 minutes past. I appreciate all of you guys so very much. I know that I have a lot of DMs. And I do have to wrap up a few things with getting our tags. I know that our audit tag is up on Presale, but I don't believe our KYC tag is up there yet. But there is KYC. You can go to our website, or you can look in the Telegram channel. Send me direct messages, but have a little bit of patience with me if I'm not able to respond right away. We did get a kind of an influx of them this morning, but I will do my best to make sure I respond to everybody personally in a very in a manner that's fairly within the time that you had messaged me. And if there's anything else, ask the admins, ask the mods. Thank you for even being here this early. This projection of just announcing it December 20th, even had this many people here on this day already it gives me chills. Like it's crazy humbling that we could even be in a chat this early on with this many people. And it's truly a blessing, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that we basically make you guys proud of us. So with that, I am going to end this session. Thank you. This will be recorded and it will be uploaded to our socials and to YouTube. And we look forward to chatting with you guys in the very near future. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.